deer hunting videos. In this deer hunting video, I'm hunting in Iowa on my 10-acre property. If you've been following my channel, I've worked really hard on this property. I got food plots now, I got a soybean field, and I finally got deer coming in. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon and I already have doe showing up in my turnip food plot. One of the things I did this year is I built a shooting house. Being that I only get down to my property about 2 days a week, you can never predict what the wind's going to do. And I had a lot of times where my hunts were ruined because I couldn't get the wind to work in my favor when I could be there. So I figured I'm going to build a shooting house, conceal my odor, hopefully that'll help. This is my first time hunting in something like this, and I was shocked at how alert the deer were. My chair made a little click noise and those 3 deer ran off. About 40 minutes later, they came back, 5:40. So I'm like, okay, let's see if we can do a little better this time. Folks, here is my new video camera, my Canon. Listen, you hear that noise? That's how you turn on the camera. When I saw the buck, I turned it on. It made that little click noise. Even though all the windows were closed in the shooting house, it alerted the deer again. The does ran off. Fortunately for me, the buck bedded down. He basically just laid down to wait for the other deer to come back. Eventually they did. I let the deer feed through the turnips out into the soybeans. I want to just share with you real quick that putting in the soybean field, originally I just had this overgrown CRP field. This year I took that out and I got soybeans planted in there. So I got several acres of that. And the deer are coming in. Like, I live in Iowa now. In fact, I got a comment just the other day. Someone said, "I thought you were in Pennsylvania." I was like, I moved to Iowa 4 years ago. In Iowa, they had that movie called Field of Dreams, and the line was, if you build it, they will come. Well, I've been thinking all year, if you plant it, they will come. Look at my soybean field, this trail camera picture I got during the summer. I mean, I'm getting deer on my property like never before. And I have got 2 bucks that are kind of on my hit list. The number 2 buck is this one right here. He's a 13 pointer. The only drawback is he's a little bit of a young deer. If he makes it through, he's going to be a giant buck. I posted that picture on social media and I said, a lot of people would want to give this deer another year or 2. That would be great, but I am not going to pass if he gives me an opportunity. Folks, this deer showed up to my surprise. I did not expect to see a shooter buck during daylight, and here he is. Now, where he's standing, I can get this shot. I'm looking at him. I'm like, I can make this shot. I've got a fixed blade broadhead. I know I can, if I hit any of the shoulder blade, I can punch right through that. I've got a real heavy arrow. It's 560 grains. It's one of the thin diameter arrows where the tip is fatter, so that helps with penetration. This is going to get into that deer if I take the shot. He's standing there. He had actually just pushed a doe past me, and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to wait and be patient. I'm going to wait for him to take a few more steps so he's right in front of me. I want a perfect broadside shot. I ranged him. He's exactly 30 yards. I can make this shot. Folks, I am putting tension on the string, getting ready to draw as soon as he takes a step. Instead of taking those couple steps to be perfectly broadside to me, he turned around and walked right out into my soybeans. So I quick grabbed my video camera off the tripod and started to film this guy feeding out in the soybeans with the other deer. Obviously, I would have liked to get the shot, but I trust in the Lord, and I'm not going to let it get to me. I trust that God has a plan, and the shot that I wanted didn't present itself, so it's okay. And if that buck makes it through, he's going to be a dandy in a year or 2. My goodness, that deer has the potential of being a 200-inch deer. I'm not going to hold my breath. May not see this deer again. It was super exciting to encounter him, though. I slept in the shooting house because I knew if I walked out, I'd blow the deer out of the field. In the morning, there were still a few does left. They still were a little bit off with me being there the night before and spooking them a little bit. So they came over right next to the shooting house to just smell and see if they could smell something. And they just weren't too thrilled with the situation. They ended up walking off. There was another doe and fawn that came out later that morning. I didn't get footage of them right before I left. But folks, I will be going back. All right, hold on, folks. I got to interrupt what I already produced. I actually finished this video, and I said in the original version that I would really like to see this buck live. I mean, I don't want him to give me the choice because I feel like I would have to shoot because he's such a nice buck. And if my neighbors get a chance at him, they're going to shoot him. Because like the last time I had, a buck 2 years in a row on camera, it was right when I bought the property. I had a 140-inch 10-point. I was like, I want to let him go for one more year. The next year he was about a 152, and the neighbor shot him and the one other buck I had in my food plot that year. within 5 minutes. And he has a stand set up just like maybe 40 yards from my food plot on his side. So I was thinking, man, if I get a chance at this 13-pointer, I'm just going to have to take it because otherwise he's going to shoot it. But I would really like to see him make it through till next year. Well, I decided after I saw this picture I have of the deer, looking at his neck, I mean, this is most likely a 2.5-year-old deer. 2.5-year-old with these kind of genetics, I just got to take a chance. So as far as letting this deer grow. And so I tried to reach out to all my neighbors to say, hey, can we all agree to pass on this deer for a year or two? Because this deer has a 200-inch potential. 2 of my neighbors said yes, absolutely. The neighbor who shot the 152, the 10-pointer, will not respond to my efforts to reach out to him. I'm going back to my property tomorrow to hunt. And I really don't want to see this deer. I don't want this deer to come out because I'm going to take a chance. I mean, I've got 2 neighbors who are willing to pass on the deer. Maybe he'll make it through. I mean, this really could be quite a nice deer. And I have some other deer on my camera showing up that are certainly shooters. It's also early in the season, so a lot of these bucks, the shooters, aren't coming out during daylight. We're going to have like a 15 to 20 degree drop in high temp for tomorrow. So I'm hoping maybe that'll encourage some of the big ones to show up at the food before dark. Stay tuned to find out, folks. I mean, this is getting exciting. I've had a great year so far, not just on my property, on all the hunts. God's really blessed me with some great sightings, encounters. And I'm really hoping that one of these days it's going to end with me bringing some antlers home to add to the story behind me. I hope you'll stay tuned for that. Let me transition over to the footage I previously had to close out this video. Stay tuned to find out. Also, I got a couple announcements. If you haven't picked up a copy of my latest book, How to Hunt Deer with Proven Success, a comprehensive guide to help bow hunters harvest bigger buck and more deer, pick up a copy. I have loaded this thing with so much information, including map reading, how I read maps to find good hunting spots. I mean, this book really has it all. If you want to step up your game, check it out. I'll provide a link to my website so that you can purchase that through the website. I'm also doing giveaways. Let me pick these things up. I got them laying around here. So I'm doing giving away the snack time feeder. This hooks up to a bait barrel. When a deer hits it, it triggers it and drops the corn or whatever your food is that you have out, so that you're feeding the deer when they're there and not just like dumping it at certain times and then the raccoons or the turkeys come in and eat it all before the deer get to, or bear, depending on where you live. Also, the Ground Effect hunting seat by O3 Outfitters. This is a super strong hunting seat that you ratchet strap to a tree, and it's extremely sturdy. And I mean, it's made with real high quality metal. This thing can hold a lot of weight. So check that out. I'm giving one of these away in the month of October, as well as 5 Dragon X8 compound bows. So what you want to do is go to the giveaways page of my website. Make sure you register on my newsletter. You also want to be subscribed to my YouTube channel and watch all my videos. But subscribe to the newsletter. Before I do the giveaway, I send out a registration form, and you get in on that, and then I do a live broadcast typically and give 5 of these away, the Ground Effect hunting seat and the snack time feeder. And I also am going to be giving away, I just picked up a rangefinder. I'm going to be giving away one of these rangefinders in the month of November, and also a trail camera in November. So November is going to be a couple extra things. Go to the giveaways page on my website, get in on it, make sure you're old enough, make sure you follow all the guidelines and stuff, and I hope to see you there. Folks, I want to end with one last thought. My trail cameras, somebody tried to break the antennas off of I got cellular cameras all over my property. It's not a good idea for you to try to get on my property because I'm going to get pictures of you. And somebody tried to break 2 of the antennas off of my cellular cameras. You know, I believe in the Lord, and He gave us something to live by. Treat other people the way you want to be treated. I encourage you to do that. It's not just nice for other people, but in reality, although our God's merciful, He's also just. It will be repaid to you as you pay it out to others. If you're breaking other people's stuff, it's going to come back to you. And you don't want that. Just treat people the way you want to be treated, and all will go well, and we'll all be in good shape. That's just a thought for today. Keep that in mind, and read your scriptures. Till next time, take care. May the good Lord bless you.